Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Lamers here with you in the Facebook Live Center. We're streaming on Facebook with you because we do have some updates as far as weather goes for this afternoon. I wanted to start first and foremost with the severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued, and this is really for much of northeast Wisconsin. Now, there are some communities that in orange that is a severe thunderstorm warning at the current time. We'll get to that in just a quick second here, but I want to cover this watch first because this is issued from now until 10 o'clock this evening. So even though we're seeing this initial batch of some severe storms, the bulk of the area will really hold off until let's say a couple hours from now for some additional potential strong to severe storms. Now, let's get to the radar network where we are seeing these severe thunderstorms warnings. So that's in Langlade County, Menominee County, and Shawano County, which lasts until 3:15 this afternoon. That's one of the warnings. And then there's another warning in Forest, Marinette, and Oconto County, which runs until 2:45. So that is just covering the North Woods, and you see how this initial band, I'm going to kind of point it out for you right now. This is the first initial band that's heading through here. Now, with this storm off to the north, there have been some reports by Rhinelander of 30 to 45 mile per hour winds, and with that has come down trees and down power lines. So of course, anytime we have that potential, we will be watching it very carefully for you. Now, if I zoom out here, you can kind of get the wider scope. What we have going on here is a cold front setup right about there. That is the line, that is the cold front that we do expect some additional showers and storms to fire up upon, and we got a kind of a stronger storm pushing just through the Twin Cities and north of Eau Claire that we'll be keeping an eye on too. But this is the first band, and this is the second band that will be coming through here and eventually giving us some more showers and storms for tonight. So here's what you can expect from now until about 10 o'clock. Scattered strong thunderstorms, some damaging winds are possible with this. That's really the main threat for this. And then, of course, with all summer storms comes downpours, the threat for torrential rain, and the possibility for some hail. We'll see some pockets here or there, but I don't think hail is as big as a threat as the wind gusts are certainly. And I'm going to run through high-res futurecast for you very quickly and show you what we think is going on. So what it's doing is you see the greens and the yellows and the reds there. It's picking up on that initial band, and I think some additional showers and storms will fire up behind it. So there's some additional lines that will be coming through here. Now, this is about 7 o'clock on high-res futurecast. Notice how we're not done just yet. So through this evening, here's about 8, 9 o'clock, pushing southward and giving the chance for some additional downpours and the wind threat. Now, what I'm going to do is go back to the current radar and talk about more about the watch and the warnings. Chad, you've been watching this with me too. They issue these severe thunderstorm watches out ahead of these thunderstorms. So this is time to prepare, right? You know, get ready for us.
Yeah, no doubt. Green Bay, Lakeshore areas across the Fox Cities, you guys are still fairly quiet against areas on Highway 29 right now. And this will be interesting to watch with these showers and storms moving through across the Northwoods at the moment. Does that essentially stabilize the atmosphere enough where the second line that's further off to the west, once that develops, will that kind of weaken as it moves into the Northwoods, or move that whole complex a little further south where we still have a lot of the moisture and the instability due to the warm temperatures, the humidity, and the sunshine that we've seen here so far today on this Monday? Now, as we look at the radar, you can see areas back towards Rhinelander and Medford. They're getting back into some sunshine right on the back edge of these showers and storms. So potentially, if that's around just enough, they could warm up just a little bit more between these two complexes now moving through that. It might produce just enough instability once again to keep those showers and storms touch on the stronger side. But right now, it looks like the strongest of those storms, and that whole complex now developing is just to the north and west of Eau Claire. There's a few more showers and storms developing just to the south and west of Ashland County there in northwestern Wisconsin, back towards Spooner at the moment. So we'll be watching how that all evolves here over the next several hours. But again, our main concern at the moment is the strong winds across northern Wisconsin and our viewing area, areas that do not need to get hit with more severe weather. It was just, 2 weeks ago that we had the widespread wind damage up that direction, and still areas, including our cottage near Pound, still dozens, if not hundreds of trees that we haven't even been able to touch yet because there's so much damage up that direction. And now, unfortunately, these areas that were impacted just 2 weeks ago are now dealing with more of these severe storms moving through. Again, does not look, at least at the moment, like those winds are nearly as strong as what they were during that last system that moved through a few weeks ago, but still 60-mile-an-hour winds will take down trees and power lines without a doubt.
Yeah, so we're on Facebook Live, and the beauty of this, folks, is that we get a chance to kind of interact with you, too. So we have it pulled up back here. We are tracking your comments coming in. Leslie, for instance, is saying hello from Abrams. Suzanne's in Greenleaf, and Leah says, my kids are at camp at Lakewood. So obviously we're keeping track of this for you. If you have any questions for us, we would be more than happy to try to answer them, so you can leave them below. We also remind you at this time, the reason we do this is to not just get the likes and the comments and the shares, but we really want to get the information out to everybody. So
there's not a lot of people near a TV right now. They're probably at work.
Right. It's 2:30 in the afternoon.
In 2019, more people have their cell phones around than antennas for TV or cable or whatever it might be. So this is oftentimes the best way nowadays to get these little alerts out to people is through Facebook Live and on our website because everybody has their phone around.
And you guys can help out too by giving this a share. So that's why we asked this at this time. So if we want to go over the radar network right now, I mean, showing what's going on.
You want to do like a storm track? How fast are these moving right now? Just because I know somebody said their kids are in Lakewood. Lakewood, this isn't all that far away.
Certainly can. So the latest from the National Weather Service is that the wind potential is up to 60. I don't know if we've quite gotten there yet, but nonetheless, there have been trees being reported down, power lines been reported down with this initial band. Again, this is not the one that we're really going to be focusing on through the extent of the evening, but right now obviously is our main focus. Hail potential is up to 3/4 of an inch, and I'm not getting any other reports in terms of how fast it's moving. I can see if I can pull that up really quickly here. So yes, anything that you see that orange box in there is what we're talking about. And I'm just going to take a...
Looks like 55 miles an hour.
55 miles per hour?
East.
So I will throw in a little, what we call a little cone or a box in there for you. And I'll estimate the wind speed at about 50. And then we can do this. So it's moving just like so. All right, so our radar is saying around the mountain area about 235, Suring 256, so near the 3 o'clock hour. And then we get to Shawano, which will be around the 3 o'clock hour. Peshtigo at 319, Marinette 321. And then Green Bay, that is if it holds together. So there's a lot to kind of needs to happen for that to hold true and even make it off to the lakeshore. I just extended it this way. Should it hold together and stay in the same form that it is right now.
And there's nothing that's moved through so far this afternoon to really prevent these from, really falling apart. It'll be interesting if there's a lake breeze and if it kind of knocks it down once it heads towards the lakeshore. But at least across the Northwoods right now, again, areas mainly north of Highway 29, you're kind of under the gun for this line that's continuing to develop. It wasn't all that impressive across north central Wisconsin, but now you can see a more defined line of showers and storms. We're not really looking at that bow echo type that we saw during that event 2 weeks ago.
Thankfully, we're not getting that bow echo.
But this is still fairly early on, all developing, and we don't need the classic, bow echo signature to get strong winds. We're still seeing those winds potentially upwards of 60 miles an hour.
Doesn't it kind of feel like a thunderstorm day out there? Hot and really humid.
Yeah.
Really humid out there, and that humidity is the fuel for the thunderstorms today. And the lifting mechanism, the process in which we get these thunderstorms to form is the cold front, which has yet to move through.
And that's still well off to our north and west, so that's why we're still expecting the second round developing across northwestern and western Wisconsin at the moment. This is the first one well ahead of that front just pushing into northwestern Wisconsin at the moment. And that's where we're looking at that second line developing further off to our west, and that's the one that could impact a good chunk of the area later on this evening as well. They're thinking probably after 5 or 6 o'clock.
Chad,
once this first one moves through.
We got some really interesting comments here. Kylie from Pembine says we're getting hit right now with bad winds and power. So it just went off and on. The power went off and on there.
Yeah.
So that's what we're dealing with here, folks. I mean, it's going to be this high wind situation. It could take down some trees, which could easily fall on the power lines, and that's what we want to avoid altogether.
Yeah.
And that's why we're on Facebook Live, too, because not all of your time when your power goes out that your TV stays on, too.
Absolutely.
So we're here on your phone. Cindy's checking in from De Pere, Laura's in White Lake, and she says how we do have TV signal, but she has DirecTV, so we're going to be moving on from that.
Yeah.
So if we could just do one more overview for those of you just tuning in. We are under a severe thunderstorm watch. It means conditions are favorable for developing thunderstorms that could potentially be severe. And in the orange boxes there, that's where we have the current watches and warnings. I'll go over this one more time. Forest, Marinette, and Oconto County is in one dialog box that says that warning will last until 2:45.
Yep.
A warning means it's happening right now. A watch means that it could potentially happen, and now is the time to prepare. Now, the other warning is a little bit further south, and that is for Langlade, Menominee, and Shawano County until 3:15 this afternoon. And again, that first initial band may or may not hold together. That's what we're seeing. But if we zoom out and see really the wider scope of things, I'm going to just point out two things for you. Our cold front and the purpose for all these storms is right about here. Let's see if I can get this up for you. Get a little arrow on there. So there's the cold front right about there. This is all happening out ahead of it. This initial band is bringing us a few severe storms, while this secondary band is what we'll be watching for later on tonight. So anytime between about now and 10 o'clock this evening, when that watch expires, is when we could have some of these stronger storms. So scattered, stronger thunderstorms. Damaging winds is really going to be the main threat for this. And then downpours. I mean, you know how gully washers is how some people like to say that.
Kind of what we saw on Saturday.
Yeah, on Saturday.
It wasn't a widespread rain, but there's just so much humidity in the air, and it has to ring out somehow. And so we get these very heavy rain events that combined with the strong winds, and obviously we're going to have some visibility issues, and as we've already heard, trees down and power lines down for a few areas. So we'll wrap this up here in just a moment. We'll go through the forecast once more and then let you guys go. We'll still have updates on our website, Facebook, Twitter, and then again coming up at 4 o'clock. But if you're watching us, just tuned in, here's what we're expecting. Jordan, you can go through here on our
high-res Futurecast. It's doing a pretty good job on what's happening right now. So with the severe storms, you see that little notch there of green. It's picking up on that. That does fade away, and Futurecast wants to throw in that second chance for a redevelopment later on. So this is 7 o'clock. Most of our southern section is really not seeing stuff, but potentially, again, in the North Woods, you may get some of those stronger storms. Here's 9 o'clock tonight, moving into the Green Bay area, potentially the Valley, and over to Stevens Point, Wapaka area, and then move southward from there once we hit about bedtime and there on after. But the good news is after about midnight tonight, all the storms will be gone, so you can rest assured that by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, the rain will be out of here and we'll have a new day on Tuesday. So that's what it's sitting at right now. Again, severe thunderstorm watch continues until 10, so even though you have the warnings out there right now, you may get some additional, but we'll keep an eye on that for you. We'll keep any updates going right into our Facebook feed, so you can find it there. If we have any stronger storms that we feel the need to cut in for that, we will be following up on Facebook here, and as well as our newscast.
Yep.
And yeah, Chad will be here through the evening, 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock tonight to keep you updated on the television screen too. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for trusting Storm Team 5, and we'll leave you be right now. In the meantime, have a great evening.